Yesterday, it was reported by Jason La Canfora of CBS Sports, and Jason's going to join us later on this hour as well, that Antonio Brown had requested a trade. Now, there was a difference between the request and the demand of the trade. This all comes from a story of a couple of days ago where we learned Antonio Brown was a healthy scratch from Sunday's must-win game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He doesn't play. They do win. We find out he doesn't play because he got into some sort of verbal altercation with Ben Roethlisberger, throws a football at Big Ben, leaves practice, doesn't return, doesn't come to walkthrough, doesn't communicate with his coach, doesn't communicate with his quarterback. And then Sunday morning, his agent says, hey, he's all good. He's ready to play. Here's Mike Tomlin on the situation.
Circumstances being what they were and the amount of things that we were going through, it wasn't a lot of communication there. Obviously, we take his lack of communication, his lack of presence, particularly on Saturday prior to the game, to be something that's very significant and will be handled appropriately. So I'm not going to speculate on trades and things of that nature. We haven't formally received a request in that regard. I'm not going to speculate in terms of where the discipline might go and things of that nature. Just know that it's going to be addressed. And it will be addressed and needs to be addressed for obvious reasons.
What's that? Andrew Brandt, some of you follow him, of course, used to work in front offices, has worked at The Athletic, has worked at other places. Andrew Brandt likes to tweet out, translation, they're pissed. Right? Like they're really, really, really pissed. And my guess is, and Antonio Brown conducted an interview, or is going to conduct, has that interview taken place on Twitter? James Harrison, who works for us, who's a former Steeler. Remember James Harrison, who left the Steelers and went to the New England Patriots last year after he was cut, has conducted apparently some sort of interview with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown also took to Instagram, and after ESPN put out Ryan Clark, who said, hey, you're creating a monster when you give him money, he called Ryan Clark an Uncle Tom. He started following the San Francisco 49ers. Antonio Brown is basically napalming everything with the San Francisco 49ers. I think Antonio Brown's an amazing, amazing talent. I don't know how he's always open, but in spite of the fact, or despite the fact he's always double teamed, he seems to be always open. But be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. Right? Like we operated under this, and I operated under the premise that it's $20 million in dead cap money if he does get traded, but there's always a way to trade a guy. There's a way to figure it out. And when I read that the brain trust, that the Rooneys are not in the mood to acquiesce to trade requests or trade demands, and then Antonio Brown hears that and conducts an interview with a former Steeler who then, of course, joined the hated rival or the nemesis in the New England Patriots. It leads me to believe he's like, look, you don't have to acquiesce. I'm going to demand my way out of here. He's got Drew Rosenhaus as an agent. You only have Drew Rosenhaus as an agent if you want to get every last dime that you feel like you're owed. He's 31 years old, which is the wrong side of 30 for skill positions outside of quarterback in the National Football League. He quite obviously wants to go somewhere like his thought of maybe I'll go to a San Francisco. Be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. You might not get San Francisco. You might get Buffalo. Right? You don't, like, if you just think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go like, hey, San Francisco 49ers, here you go. We're going to do exactly what he wants because he requested it. Like, how do you think that possibly works? You could not handle this any worse if you were Antonio Brown. Yeah, we've seen the Steelers play hardball. His name is Le'Veon Bell. They offered Le'Veon Bell a contract that would have made him the highest paid running back in the league. He balked at it. They franchise tagged him. He played a year. They offered him a reduced contract because they'd already paid him a guaranteed year at a rate commensurate with the top five at his position. He balked at that. They played a game of chicken. Le'Veon Bell didn't blink, but you know who else didn't blink? The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't have some sort of beef with Mike Tomlin, that he can't have a beef with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is the perfect leader, the perfect quarterback, or he is without any sort of blame here. But dude, I would think you gotta be a little smarter than this, right? You gotta play a little poker. No one likes their dirty laundry being aired. Nobody, especially NFL teams. No one. And the second you start going, hey, I want to be traded. No, you're not going to acquiesce? Fine. Let me tell you exactly how I want to be traded. Let me tell you everything that's wrong. Like, what? We can get a divorce. Why does it have to be public? We can make a trade, but you demanding it hurts your trade value, hurts what we get in return. So you know what else we're going to do? We're going to send you to somewhere you don't want to go. You don't like playing with Ben Roethlisberger? Have fun playing with Josh Allen, trying to catch balls that are 5 yards outside your catch radius. We'll send you to Miami, where you have no idea who your quarterback's going to be. We'll send you to Carolina, where good luck if Cam Newton's shoulder gets healthy, he can even throw a football accurately. Like, just the idea that we're going to send you to the San Francisco 49ers, who got Jimmy Garoppolo and have a great play caller, an awesome tight end, and a ton of draft picks and cap space and hope for the future. Yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. This is the kid who wants to transfer. And the coach is like, look, think about it. You may want to stay here. Like, no, I want to transfer, and I want to transfer to this place. And the coach is like, all right, fine. Look, you can transfer anywhere you want, except to that place. I'm fascinated to see what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I hope that other wide receivers are watching Odell Beckham Jr. and watching watching Antonio Brown, realizing they're hurting our value. Here are two super gifted players. Super gifted players. And look, Antonio Brown has led the league in targets and led the league in catches, and this year led the league in touchdown receptions. You might be unhappy, but how unhappy could you really be? And the fact is that even with you, the Pittsburgh Steelers did not make the playoffs. So could they be worse without you? Yes, but they could be better. Careful what you wish for. You might well get it. Airing a private relationships dysfunction in public, not a great plan.